Look what Muslim women were caught doing in public to terrorize people and can't be stopped. While liberal overweight feminist women in the United States protest for the rights they already have during the so-called Islamic terrorist organized Women's March because the person who they wanted, lost the presidential election. On the other side of the Atlantic Ocean, there is a different story brewing. Liberals at the heavily pro-X's and Islamic, now that's an oxymoron if I ever saw one, BBC television network try their hardest to normalize the burqa and Islam as a whole by putting out a set of videos of Muslim women lecturing us freedom-loving infidels on what is and isn't appropriate to do and say while they are present. Just a quick note to the BBC. A joke saying you have a bomb under your burqa isn't funny. And it most certainly would get someone who says this in public either hurt or killed in most parts of the United States. I don't think I have ever seen anything more asinine than this. The only way to act towards those women is with sympathy. They are slaves and don't even know it. Or they do know it but are being forced by their husbands to make these videos because the Quran says it's okay to lie to us infidels in order to spread Islam. Express UK reports. The burqa is a sign of degradation and has no place on our streets. Whenever I see a woman wearing a burqa or the niqab veil I feel uneasy. Particularly if she's accompanied by a man whose face is open to the world. I've examined my own feelings with some care. I would hate to be called racist but to be honest my reaction to veiled women is to do with their gender not their race or religious beliefs. Veiled women, even if they believe wearing the full burqa is their own free choice, send out a message to all women. That message is fear. Of men. The burqa represents pure female oppression. It is a visible sign that says women must be invisible to men, for their own safety and to protect men from lustful thoughts. In a free society, which thankfully the UK still is, the burqa is an affront. I know some women won't agree with me and I totally respect their choices. But alas, it isn't always their choice. Pupils at the Madani Girls' School in East London, some as young as 11, are all required to wear the burqa or a full face veil and long black coat at all times outside the premises. No choice at all. What lessons are these girls learning? That they are different from the rest of us and quite separate. Burqas are intimidating to others, they prevent friendliness, sociability, pleasant chit-chat. Wearing the burqa is a symbol of women's oppression. We are told by prominent Muslims that wearing the veil or burqa is not an issue of religious tolerance and that concealing a woman's face is not a requirement that features anywhere in the Quran. It is simply a cultural symbol but I would argue that it's a threatening one. As for a defendant wearing a veil in court, which a judge ruled was acceptable this week providing it was removed when the defendant gave evidence, that is surely nonsense. A defendant's face must be visible to the jury at all times when evidence is being given by witnesses. It's in the interests of the defendant. By watching her face the jury may decide not to convict but to acquit. Conservative MP Dr. Sarah Wollaston says schools collude in making women invisible if they allow the veil to be worn. She tweeted, "The niqab won't be banned in the UK because too many politicians will hide behind freedom. Hiding women away is a perversion of freedom." She's right on both counts. Already liberal MPs such as Vince Cable and Nick Clegg are saying a woman should be free to dress as she wants. It's an easy argument, but it doesn't bear examination. I repeat, wearing the burqa is a symbol of women's oppression. In a decent, liberal society such as ours, it is degrading to all women. Some responses to the videos on social media. The burqa is a symbol of oppression worldwide, and nothing will convince freedom-loving people differently. The poor imbecile in one of the videos actually goes on to say she is the queen of her home. Oh really? Then why does the Quran state that it's okay for a man to beat his wife and have multiple wives? And yes, that is still practiced today. All those cases in London of people having acid thrown on their faces aren't coming from ISIS, it's coming from Islam, which is the real root of the problem. Please share if you will be boycotting BBC. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe Breaking News 365 channel. Goodbye and see you again.